So let me pull this up on my screen here. Today I'm going to be reading, this is from the teachings of Hazrat Inayat Khan, and it's from it says volume 2, the mysticism of sound and music, and the section is from is called Spiritual Attainment by the Aid of Music. I did have to take some segments out so this doesn't flow all the way through. I mean, it flows, but I had to take some segments out, or I really wanted to read the whole section, but it would have been like 15 minutes. So here are choice selections from there. To attain spirituality is to realize that the whole universe is one symphony in which every individual is one note. Ultimate good is harmony itself. For instance, all the different principles and beliefs of the religions of this world taught and proclaimed by priests and teachers, but which men are not always able to follow and express, come naturally from the heart of a man who attunes himself to the rhythm of the universe. His every action, every word he speaks, every feeling he has, every sentiment he expresses, is all harmonious. It is all virtue. It is all religion. It is not following a religion. It is living a religion, making one's life a religion, which is necessary. Music is a miniature of the whole harmony of the universe, for the harmony of the music is music itself, and man, being the miniature of the universe, must show the same harmony. In his pulsation, in the beat of his heart, and in the vibration he shows, rhythm and tone, harmonious or inharmonious chords, his health or illness, his joy or discomfort, all show the music or lack of music in his life. Where does music come from? Where does dance come from? It all comes from the natural spiritual life which is within. When that spiritual life springs forth, it lightens all the burdens that man has. It makes his life smooth, floating on the ocean of life. The faculty of appreciation makes one light. Life is just like the ocean. When there is no appreciation, no receptivity, man sinks like a piece of iron to the bottom of the sea. He cannot float like the boat which is hollow, which is receptive. The difficulty in the spiritual path is always what comes from ourselves. Man does not like to be a pupil. He likes to be a teacher. If man only knew that the greatness and perfection of the great ones who have come before from time to time to this world was in their pupilship and not in teaching. The greater the teacher, the better the pupil he was. He learned from everyone, the great and lowly, the wise and foolish, the old and young. He learned from their lives and studied human nature in all its aspects. The one who learns to tread the spiritual path must become as an empty cup in order that the wine of music and harmony may be poured down into his heart. You may ask, how can one become an empty cup? I shall tell you how cups show themselves filled instead of being empty. Often a person comes to me and says, here I am, can you help me spiritually? And I answer yes. But then he says, I want to know first of all what you think about life and death, or about the beginning and the end. And then I wonder what his attitude will be if his previously conceived opinion does not agree with mine. He wants to learn, yet he does not want to be empty. That means going to the stream of water with one's cup covered up, wanting the water, and yet the cup is closed, filled with preconceived ideas. Where have preconceived ideas come from? No idea can be called one's own. All ideas have been learned from one source or another. But in time, one comes to think that they are one's own. For these ideas, one will argue and dispute, although they do not satisfy fully. At the same time, they are one's battleground, and all the time, they will keep the cup covered up. Mystics, therefore, have adopted a different way. They have learned a different course, and that course is self-effacement. In other words, unlearning what one has learned. They say in the East that the first thing that is learned is to understand how to become a pupil. They do not first learn what God is or what life is. The first thing is to learn how to become a pupil. One may think in this way one loses one's individuality. But what is individuality? Is it not which is collected? What are one's ideas and opinions? They are just collected knowledge. This should be unlearned. How can one unlearn? You would say that the character of the mind is such that when one learns what one learns is engraved upon it. And how then can one unlearn it? Unlearning is completing knowledge. To see a person and say that person is wicked, that is learning. To see further and recognize something good in that person, that is unlearning. When you see the goodness in someone whom you have called wicked, you have unlearned, you have unraveled the knot. As we learn all that we learn in this world is partial knowledge. And when this is uprooted by another point of view, then we have knowledge in its completed form. That is called mysticism. Why is it called mysticism? Because it cannot be put into words. Words will show us one side of it, but the other side is beyond words. The whole manifestation is duality, the duality which makes us intelligent, and behind the duality is unity. If we do not rise beyond duality and go towards unity, we do not attain the perfection which is called spirituality. Thank you.